Good morning. It is Monday, the 5th of December, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little bit Christmassy. I wanted to talk to you today about what are you saying yes to? So I allowed myself to have a wonderful lie-in this morning because I've had some very, very early mornings. You might have seen me posting about me traveling to do a VIP day with a client and then had full-on day. So I came back in the early hours, and I do like driving in the mornings when it's very quiet because it makes you feel like you're almost the only person around and awake at that time. And I've always enjoyed it. There's just something special about morning time. And if you're not a morning person, that's cool. You're probably an evening person, and maybe you get the same feeling about driving late at night when there's hardly any cars around. But I do just love it. I also like putting my foot down quite a bit, folks, as well. So, yeah, speed limits. Hey ho, I'm very fortunate that I think my car's pretty darned efficient on petrol. So, and I do quite like. I used to have a partner, my second husband, who had a Porsche 911 Carrera soft top, and I did like it when I could drive it, I have to say. And it's very easy to go way too fast. Anyway, I digress. That's not what I came on live to talk about. What I came to talk about was the fact that I woke up this morning just with an idea of posting about what we say yes to. Because this morning I was saying yes to a lie-in, right? And normally I get up at the same time every morning and I follow my morning routine. Not exactly the same. I do like to switch it up, but kind of have a format and a pattern. And this morning I was saying yes to not doing that, to switching things up. So I just thought, you know what, it would be really interesting, especially at this time of year, to ask you on here, what are you saying yes to? And is it stuff that actually gives you joy? Is it stuff that lights you up and makes you feel really good about what you're doing? Or are you saying yes to a lot of things that you don't really want to do, that you have to do? Are you saying yes to thoughts and to behaviors that actually are keeping you stuck and you know that they are, but you're not quite sure how to change them? And obviously, from my point of view, I'm thinking around the area of food and alcohol and the stuff that creates anxiety for us. Food and alcohol is my specialism, right? But the way that we talk to ourselves in our own heads creates the anxiety, creates the uncertainty, creates the belief about ourselves that maybe we're not good enough, maybe we should be doing more, and maybe having a glass of wine, having a beer, having a cocktail, having a gin and tonic as soon as we walk through the door is going to help us to feel a little bit better about having spent the day saying yes to stuff that really we didn't want to be doing, that we perhaps want to be doing stuff that was better spent with our expertise. Perhaps we were rectifying issues that other people had created because maybe they didn't listen to our instructions, or maybe we weren't clear with our instructions and they misunderstood and we didn't check in that they actually understood what we were asking them to do fully. Oftentimes we create situations through the day that create anxiety purely and simply because we're not clear on what we're asking for. And maybe we just don't ask. Maybe we just don't ask and we assume that other people are going to do stuff because they're mind readers, because they should know what we want them to do. And so much of this stuff comes up a lot in the work that I do. We have these stories that we keep telling ourselves that run along the lines of, well, they know me well enough, they should know what I'm thinking. But actually, what we kind of forget is that people don't think like us, right? And sometimes what seems so flipping obvious to us is not to somebody else. And that's not because they're stupid or they haven't, they just don't pick things up quickly. It's because their background, their story, their paradigm, their experiences, their perceptions, their interpretations of things are different to our own. They're not wrong and they're not right. They're not good and they're not bad. They're just different. And this is something that I spend quite a lot of time working through for myself, understanding that people don't think like me. That was a real big aha moment for me. But also understanding that I didn't have to justify and give a massive explanation to people about why I said no to something. It was okay to say no, right? I wouldn't explode. People wouldn't hate me. The world wouldn't end. I wouldn't die, right? Might I feel uncomfortable? Yeah, I might. Okay. But long term, would it serve me? Yes. And when you do something that makes you feel uncomfortable often enough, guess what? Becomes comfortable, right? We've all experienced that so many times. We kind of conveniently forget that we have been uncomfortable more times than we care to remember. But then we tell ourselves we don't like change, and yet we change all the time. So, what I wanted to just really ask you was, what are you saying yes to around this time of year? Around food and around drink and around going to parties and eating things that you feel you can't say no to because somebody made it specially for you and they might be offended. But you also know it's very likely to set you off on a trajectory of overeating or binge eating. Same with alcohol. Are you saying yes to a second or a third drink when actually you really wanted to be bright and breezy the next day and you certainly didn't want to wake up full of anxiety, but you said yes anyway? Why? Well, because that's what you do. Maybe that's the identity that you've created for yourself. And here's the thing, what I want to ask you is, how long are you going to keep on doing that? How long are you going to keep on keeping the same identity? The person who says yes to stuff, even though they know it's sabotaging their health, if it's not making them feel good, and actually adding to you feeling worse about yourself, the language that you're using in your own head, how long are you going to keep on allowing yourself to keep saying yes so that your own inner critic can beat you up? So that then you are even harder on yourself, which creates more anxiety that leads to you turning to drink and food even more. How long are you going to keep doing that? How long have you been doing it? Is now maybe the opportunity, the time for you to say enough? Is now maybe the time to ask yourself, could I commit to something else? And if you think that you can commit to something else and you are absolutely fed up of yourself saying yes to stuff that actually you know is not helpful, that you know is potentially harmful, that you know is probably going to set you off on a binge that's going to make you feel even worse about yourself and add to the anxiety, your story around me not being able to get enough done because my brain won't focus and all of that kind of stuff. If you are fed up of that, I'm going to invite you to have a conversation with me. I am offering VIP days to people, and I did one over the weekend, hence I was talking about traveling. And they are the best way for you to get some real clarity on just what is going on for you. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what are the obstacles holding you back? But crucially, what can you do yourself fast now to help yourself have a much better Christmas, to feel that you're not so anxious because you have the ability and the knowledge about you to be able to do things differently in a way that does not feel overwhelming? How about we have a conversation about that? Because I have got some slots, I've got some days free. In fact, this Saturday is available, but you have to have a conversation with me first. I have to know that you genuinely want to change, that you are generally absolutely fed up of saying yes to the stuff that is not helping you, that you are ready to commit to saying something else. And if you know that you are, but you've just been a little bit scared and you're kind of thinking, well, I don't really know enough about you, Vicky, why should I speak to you? Please do jump over onto my website, have a little read about me, pop on over to my YouTube channel. My website, by the way, is vickymidwood.com. Have a look at me on there. Look at the stuff that I talk about. YouTube channel is also Vicky Midwood. There is stuff on Instagram. So I'm very open, I'm very transparent. And if you think you just want to have a chat, about this stuff and see maybe am I the person to help you, then I would love to do that. I've put the link up above, below, wherever, whichever way around it appears on your social media platform. And I would love to have a conversation with you this week about how you are doing, what you want for this Christmas, but crucially for the next 12 months to 2 years, to 25 years to however many years you have been saying yes when you want to say no. And if you are absolutely sick and tired of feeling sick and tired about how you are around food or alcohol or yourself, your identity, then let's have a conversation. Have a lovely day, whatever you do. I'm now going to go back to my chaos because I have decided after my little lie-in that I wanted to have a right good clear out of all of my paperworks and books and reline up all of my shelves and go through and get rid of all of the crap that I don't need anymore. And it's a great time of year to do that. Let's get rid of the crap and let's focus on creating the new person that you want to be into 2023. Have a lovely day. Thanks for watching.